When Nathan was 8 months pregnant, his assistant also discovered she was pregnant. This little pregnant woman suddenly had a strong desire to go to the mermaid show, but she couldn't sleep well that night. Nathan gave me a chin lift. I remembered that you used to be a mermaid at the aquarium, so this is a good opportunity to show everyone a pregnant mermaid. I knelt down and begged him, saying that the pressure under the water was very high and that if I went in, my baby might be in danger. But Nathan looked impatient and urged me to hurry. If it doesn't work, we can always try again. You haven't lost your womb yet. When the entire water area was red with blood, Nathan finally ordered me to be pulled up. We Mohicans live by the sea. Unexpectedly, my child was accidentally killed by his father in the water. When I woke up, there was no one in the entire ward. The severe pain in my lower body and the flat belly made me realize clearly that the child was gone. The door suddenly opened. "You're awake." Nathan's face showed no sign of guilt or remorse. He picked up the kettle and poured me a glass of warm water. "I always thought you were a good swimmer, and I was angry with you for refusing Emily. If I had known that the baby would die as a result, I would never have forced you into the water. The doctor said the abortion was successful. You need to rest and recover, and when you are well again, we can consider having another child." I gave a weak smile, but inside I was full of sarcasm. Another child? Then will this child be the same as the last one? I rarely argue with him. Nathan is first taken aback, then says a little unhappily that from a scientific point of view, as long as it hasn't been born it's still an embryo, so why give it so much significance? Just as I want to say something, Nathan's phone suddenly rings. Ding dong, it's the incoming call tone from Emily, the little assistant he's always cared about. Nathan looks up slightly nervously, only to see my closed eyes. He hesitated for 2 seconds before finally answering the phone. "Nathan, I heard that Sister Clara has woken up, and I want to apologize to her in person. I just want to ask you to take a leave of absence from me and go to the aquarium to watch the mermaid show." I didn't expect Nathan to be so nice as to let Sister Clara perform for me in person. The ward was so quiet that you could hear a drop of water fall, let alone Emily's high-pitched voice. "Ah, it hurts!" Emily suddenly screamed, which made Nathan's heart tense up. "Emily? What's wrong? Where are you? I'll come and get you. Hello?" But all I got in response was a busy signal. Nathan's face was full of tension. He looked at me, his eyes still closed, and didn't say anything. Emily called to apologize. "She's a girl and pregnant, I'm a little worried about her safety." He paused before turning to go out the door. "You get some rest, I'll make your favorite fish soup tonight." It wasn't until the door slammed shut that I slowly opened my eyes and picked up the phone under the pillow. The screen showed that it was still ringing. "Dad, you should have heard it, right? Nathan saved my life back then, and over the years we've helped each other out a lot, so we don't owe him anything anymore. I'm really tired, really tired. Dad, I want to go home." On the other end of the line, my father was silent for a while, and finally gave a heavy grunt. "Luckily, Nathan was serious about you back then, and to reassure me that he would treat you well, he even signed a divorce agreement himself and gave it to me to keep. By now, he probably forgot about it himself." My father let out a sigh as he said this. "Not only Nathan, but even I forgot about it. Dad, just send me the agreement. Once I sign it, and after a month, Nathan and I will be completely separated." After hanging up, I clicked on another number that had been in my address book for a long time but that I had never called. That number belonged to Ethan, Nathan's business rival, and what was more interesting, we had known each other longer than Nathan. After some hesitation, I finally dialed the number. The phone rang twice before it was answered, and the once boyish voice now sounded more steady. "Clara, after all these years, you finally called me again." I gave a bitter smile and didn't continue the conversation. "Haven't you always wanted the help of a Mohican? I can help you." When the nurse came in to do my regular checkup, I felt that she seemed to be a little dissatisfied with me. As soon as she left, she started discussing me casually with the others. "Do you think she is the mysterious Mrs. Nathan? She really doesn't look like a CEO's wife. Her features are not bad, but her skin is a bit dark. Those who know her call her the CEO's wife, but those who don't may think she's just an ordinary person. Hey, have you heard? Nathan uses his wife to amuse his young assistant, who is said to look a bit like Nathan's first love. It seems the assistant has just become pregnant, so maybe the baby is a bastard. They're not afraid at all that I'll hear, and even if I do, what can I do? Nathan won't help me. That night, the fish soup he mentioned was never delivered. All I saw on my phone was Emily's beautifully edited Facebook status. I just twisted my ankle while walking, but the CEO prepared such a sumptuous meal to reward me. I never knew that twisting an ankle could be so happy. Nathan left a message below. Silly girl, what's so good about twisting an ankle? Did you want me to worry? Even if you hadn't sprained your ankle, I would have taken you out to eat something delicious. Nathan didn't know it yet, but Emily had quietly added me as a friend soon after she started working here. I had seen their happy days. The next day, I received a divorce agreement from my father. Although the paper was a little yellowed, the content was fine, and the date was still blank. Nathan had already signed his name on it. I signed my name next to Nathan's and wrote the date. After putting the divorce agreement away, Nathan pushed open the door carrying a few takeaway boxes. I was a bit busy yesterday and forgot to prepare the carp soup, so I've specially packed you the signature dish from the Michelin restaurant. When I opened the box, I saw that it was exactly the same as the dish Emily posted on her friend circle. There was even a faint lip print left on the dessert. I couldn't help retching a little, and I didn't even try to hide it. Are you that nervous? Now that you don't have a baby anymore, you shouldn't feel like you're pregnant anymore, should you? Are you doing this on purpose to spite me? Nathan angrily slammed the lunchbox on the table, and I could tell he was very upset. I said, Nathan, it's not hard to pack you a new lunch, is it? I looked at him with some sarcastic eyes. He was stunned by my words, and after a few seconds, his expression changed a lot. Clara, don't go too far. When we first met, you didn't have any special requests. Are you having a problem with me, or with Emily? If you like it, eat it. If not, order takeaway. After saying this, he left me in the ward very angrily, turned around and walked away, without even looking at me again. During this time, I had no appetite at all. Lying in bed, looking at the ceiling, I kept thinking about the past few years. A few years ago, when I was young, I had no intention of spending my life at sea with the older generation. She went to the nearest big city by herself. With her better swimming skills than the others, she applied for the mermaid job at the aquarium. Her reputation gradually spread, but it also attracted the jealousy of her peers. After the show, the other colleagues held me under the water and wouldn't let me go ashore, saying that I was capable. If they can hold their breath for 10 minutes like that, why don't they try for an hour? Just when I could hardly breathe, Nathan, the investor of the aquarium, happened to come by for an inspection and saved me. He didn't know I was a mock can. After learning that he was doing research on marine life, I told my family to fully support him. Unfortunately, none of these efforts came to fruition. When I was finally able to get out of bed, I made my way home with great difficulty. When I entered the door, the fingerprint scanner kept giving me the wrong answer. Oh dear, why didn't Sister Clara tell me she was coming back? The door suddenly opened, and Emily poked her head out, smiling mischievously. It looked like I was the guest. Why didn't you tell me you were leaving the hospital? Emily has been suffering from some pretty bad morning sickness lately, so I let her stay with us for a while. Nathan came out of the kitchen wearing an apron. I suddenly realized that I had never seen Nathan cook before. Where's Max? Suddenly I realized that something was wrong. My little dog Max, who had been with me for 10 years, had been with me for many years, even before I married Nathan, but today he didn't come to greet me. Max! Max! I shouted, running from the living room to the balcony. At this time, Nathan called out to me, a little awkwardly. Stop shouting, Emily is afraid of dogs. I sent Max somewhere else. Besides, dogs have parasites, so they are not suitable for living with pregnant women. I even suspect that you couldn't keep the baby this time because you were always with Max. Otherwise, with your abilities, I really don't want to hear him nag. That's enough. What does Max have to do with it? Tell me where Max is, and I'll go get him. But Nathan didn't answer directly. Okay, why are you making such a fuss just now that you've returned? I'll go get Emily when she goes back. Back in the master bedroom, I stood in the doorway a little dazed. What caught my eye was the dazzling pink. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. Nathan is cooking for Emily. He walked up behind me and said that Emily feels bad and has trouble breathing in the guest room. Let's be understanding and let the pregnant woman use that room. Since you don't have a child anymore, it doesn't make much difference where you stay. My clenched fist was now bleeding. Nathan, whose baby is in Emily's belly? Clara, are you suspecting Nathan and me? Emily said tearfully, without waiting for Nathan to speak. Nathan only feels sorry for me and has taken me in like a dog. If you don't like me, Clara, I'll leave now. When Nathan saw Emily in tears, he couldn't help but push me. He said, Clara, I've really had enough of you. The way he looked at me was not at all like a husband, more like an enemy. Emily has had a bad experience. Why do you have to mention other people's sad stories? Isn't that a bit inappropriate? As her boss, I should be more concerned about her. You're amazing, the wife of the CEO is so jealous. Apologize to Emily quickly, or I'll send Max to the slaughterhouse. I'm not just saying this. This is really frustrating. I didn't expect Nathan to threaten me with Max, who is closest to me. I can't help but get angry. Sorry, you can have the master bedroom. I'm really exhausted. Some things just don't mean anything to me anymore. I just want to wait quietly until the divorce agreement takes effect. There are still 15 days to go. I can't get used to this bed, so I don't sleep very well in the guest room. In the middle of the night, I hear a noise in the master bedroom. Nathan, even though the test results are all good, you should still be careful and not make too much noise. If you wake up Sister Clara, that would be bad. I desperately covered my ears, trying to block out the unpleasant sound that was disturbing my thoughts. At the break of dawn, Nathan's anxious voice came from the master bedroom. Emily, what's wrong? I was suddenly awakened by the piercing sound of a 120 siren. As I walked out, I saw Emily being carried away on a stretcher with bloodstains all over her body. Nathan's face showed signs of anger when he saw me. Are you satisfied now? If you hadn't kept Emily on the cold shoulder yesterday and made her so scared, would she have ended up like this? This is a matter of life and death. Having said that, he also felt that it was wrong and immediately shut up. I couldn't help but laugh. Yes, it's a human life, not just an embryo. We are only embryos, but Emily's child is already a life. What's the point of dwelling on this at a time like this? Let's go. Follow me to the hospital to see Emily. He took my hand and hurried towards the hospital. Nathan, Miss Lynn has lost a lot of blood and needs a blood transfusion immediately to save the baby, but the hospital is running low on O-type blood. Nathan suddenly turned to look at me. He remembered that I was O-type blood. The doctor looked me up and down and said that the lady had just had an operation and was still in recovery, so she might be low on blood. As a result, Nathan interrupted the doctor angrily. Cut the crap. She's fine. And then he said something that made me angry. It's a matter of life and death, so hurry up and take Clara's blood. Looking at the man who had once promised me so much, my last shred of faith completely collapsed. Well, I was going to say that after the blood transfusion, I wanted him to give me Max back. But before I could finish, Nathan hurriedly pushed me towards the doctor. He said that she had already agreed, so what were you waiting for? Go on! After 2 hours of emergency treatment, Emily and the baby were safe, while I needed to recover with nutrition shots. Thank you, Clara. Nathan came back from Emily's room, sat by my bed, held my hand tightly and said, You are a really good person. I always felt that you were right. Rest well in the hospital. I will come to pick you up in a few days, and I will also take Emily back to her home at that time. After 8 days of intravenous drip, I left the hospital without waiting for Nathan to pick me up. He was always too busy to come, so I waited for a while. But I didn't want to wait for someone who wasn't coming. When I arrived home, I smelled a strong aroma of hot pot. I opened the door and found Nathan wasn't there, just Emily sitting alone at the table. She gave me a sweet smile. You're home too? When Nathan picked me up yesterday, I asked him if he wanted to pick you up, but he said you weren't fully recovered yet. You must be starving, so I made a hot pot with dog meat. I heard that dog meat is very nutritious. Because I have a dog, I've never eaten dog meat before. I asked again, where did you buy the dog meat? I know there's no place here that specializes in slaughtering dogs, and the locals don't eat dog meat either. Of course it's your precious dog, otherwise what other dog can nourish my body? Her words exploded in my head like a bomb. I couldn't hold back any longer, rushed to the table, grabbed her by the hair and gave her a few hard slaps. You're not 100 times better than Max. If you eat him, I'll use you as hot pot ingredients today. Just as I was about to put Emily's hand into the hot pot, Nathan returned. Stop! Clara, What's wrong with you? What did Emily do to make you angry? He came running over, put his arms around me and pulled us apart. Nathan, earlier you said you would give Max back to me, but now you let Emily have him. You're making me so angry. I was so angry that my eyes were red, and even though I knew I couldn't beat you, I charged at you and tried to punch you. In the middle of the fight, the hot pot was knocked over, spilling its juices all over the floor, and my arm was burned red. Clara, calm down, I'll explain. Nathan pulled me into the bedroom while signaling Emily to leave with his eyes. This is Emily's responsibility, and I don't understand how she found Max. I already told the foster home to take good care of Max. Nathan pressed me against the wall and whispered, "You've just been discharged from the hospital, don't get angry and upset your health. Max is old, how long can he keep you company? After a while, I'll find you a puppy that looks exactly like Max to keep you company, okay?" I closed my eyes and tears silently flowed down my face. Max had always followed me on the fishing boat, and it was all because of me that he had gotten into trouble. If he hadn't followed me, this would never have happened to him. I forced myself to calm down and nodded slowly. Seeing that I had given in, Nathan also let out a sigh of relief. The day the divorce agreement took effect, I hired a lawyer and gave him the agreement and a copy. "Miss Clara, don't worry, I will deliver the agreement to the other party as you requested." After tidying up the traces of our lives over the years, I got into the car Ethan had come in and set off for the beach. That was where my real home was. "Clara, marry me." Ethan said these words suddenly, as the car interior fell silent. "You don't need to hurry to reply to me. There has to be a reasonable reason for someone else wanting to help me. But I will respect your choice." I thanked him softly and looked out the window, falling asleep in a daze. Nathan received the divorce papers I had asked my lawyer to send him just a short while after I left. Looking at the paper, Nathan seemed unable to read the contents. His hands trembled as he tore the paper into shreds. "How could this be? Clara and I have been in a relationship for so many years, she definitely won't leave me." The lawyer just coldly watched Nathan slowly lose control. "Mr. Nathan, the original divorce agreement is in Clara's hands, I will handle this matter." I felt I had returned home when the salty sea breeze blew in my face. "Clara, you have been through a lot." My mother got off the fishing boat and held me tightly in her arms, stroking my hair. Nathan thought he was lucky to have someone offer to help him, but in fact, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have helped him at all. He used researching marine life as an excuse to throw a lot of radioactive substances into the sea, so we had to go fishing further away. "Now that you're back, we don't have to worry about this anymore. Your father has already proposed to Nathan to terminate the cooperation." I nodded and looked at these family members who cared about me. I was moved and couldn't speak. But thanks to Ethan, who has been secretly protecting me all these years, Nathan has not caused any more trouble. He is really a good person. My mother looked at Ethan standing behind me and said with a grateful heart. Thinking about what Ethan told me in the car, I couldn't help blushing. But, after the marriage between the Morcan and me had already failed once, should we try again? Not long after my father had announced the end of his collaboration with Nathan, he arrived. At this, Nathan, who had seen me, first looked surprised, then became very happy. "Clara, what are you doing here?" Just as his hand was about to touch my face, I impatiently slapped it away. "My name is Clara. I couldn't find you when I got home that day. When the lawyer gave me the divorce papers, I really felt the sky falling in. I've been asking about you for a while, and I never thought I'd run into you at Moken Island today." I couldn't help but laugh, because it turns out that there are other things in Nathan's heart that are more important than me. "Nathan, we both signed the divorce papers, I don't need you to give me any money, and the Moken people won't help you anymore. For us, people who pollute the ocean are absolutely unforgivable." It was only then that he realized that I had been hiding my identity as a Mokan for all these years. I just let my father lead the tribe and silently supporting his work. My wrong decision almost harmed the creatures of the entire sea. Let me explain, I did this for the progress of mankind. If you don't like it, then I'll stop this research, okay? We've been together for so long, you should know me. Clara, come home with me. I promise I won't let anyone hurt you again. His words made me laugh, and as I laughed, tears fell. At this point, he still didn't understand that the person who hurt me the most was him. "Go away, Nathan, even standing by the sea, I feel that you make the air here bad. The Mokkan people will no longer cooperate with you, and it is impossible for me to return to you. They pointed at Nathan and told him to leave quickly, or they would throw him into the sea to feed the fish. Clara, I will not give up on you. I can do without the help of the Mokkan people, but I cannot do without you. After saying this, Nathan slowly turned around and left. I never looked back at him. The cooperation between the Mokkan people and Ethan officially began. We handed over the endangered species we caught to Ethan for protection. In the past few days, Ethan has mentioned getting married at least 10 times. From the beginning, he proposed in a somewhat arrogant manner, and later he started to act cute, which really gave me goosebumps. A month later, Nathan came again. This time, he was holding a puppy in his arms that looked exactly like Max. When I saw it, I was a little stunned, and it felt like Max had come back. The little white dog had the exact same black hair on its head as Max. Clara, look who I've brought you, Nathan said excitedly. Max is fine. The people at the pet store let him escape, but I found him and brought him back to you right away. Emily had said that to upset you. I was lost in thought for a few seconds, then I came back to my senses. Hurry up and hug Max, he must have missed you too. Nathan eagerly handed the puppy to me. The puppy was affectionate and responded when Nathan called it Max, but no matter how hard Nathan tried to pretend that it was Max, it was no longer the same Max. The real Max had been killed by Emily. Does it really make sense to deceive yourself? I asked Nathan coldly. He looked flustered and stuttered. What? I don't quite understand what you're saying. I continued, do you really not understand? Let me put it more simply. This dog is called Max, but it's not my Max. My Max would never let you hug him when he sees me. He would jump right on top of me. I'm not familiar with this dog. I don't want an unfaithful dog, and I don't want an unfaithful person either. Nathan stuttered. I was just afraid of hurting your feelings, so I came up with this plan to comfort you. However, I went to pet markets all over the country to find a dog with the same fur color. After all, it's only a dog, and if you keep it long enough, it will become as close to you as Max. Hearing this, I couldn't help but give Nathan a slap. Nathan, you're so conceited, I shouted angrily. You've ruined my child and the puppy I grew up with, so why do you think I should forgive you just because you gave me a fake? Nathan slowly calmed down and looked down at me, who was out of control. He said, Clara, I've given you your chance. Can you not push me? Even for the sake of the Mokkan people, don't you want to come back to me? You can have a better life with me, and I can bring a better life to the Mokkan people. Hearing these words, I froze. What is for the sake of the Mokkan people? A feeling of unease slowly emerged in my heart. Ethan's voice came from a distance, threatening my wife with her relatives. Isn't that a bit too much? I don't know how long he's been listening. What are you doing here, Ethan? What did you just say? Clara hasn't divorced me yet, so who's your wife? The two of them were originally business rivals, and the tension was high as they met on this occasion. Heh, is that really that important? It was bound to happen sooner or later. Ethan gave Nathan a cold glare. Anyway, I'll protect Clara, and I'll protect the people of Mokkan too. If you dare to do anything bad to them, I will never let you off lightly. Ethan, who usually spoke very gently, sounded very serious when he said these words. Nathan wanted to argue a little more, but he noticed that the Mokkan man who had threatened him with a harpoon earlier had appeared next to him without knowing when. After reluctantly glancing at me, he chose to turn around and leave. I thought that things had ended, but recently, my clan has encountered sonar attacks one after another while investigating the seabed. The light injuries caused people to bleed from the ears, and some people even suffered incontinence. The heavy ones directly caused people to spit blood, and some even died on the spot. This method of attack feels very familiar to me. Some time ago, Nathan seemed to be researching sonar weapons. Before I could go and argue with him, he came again. I did it, but Clara, I really had no other choice. When I sternly questioned him, Nathan's tone was pleading, but it also carried a hint of threat. He said that if you were willing to go back with me, I would immediately remove the sonar, and I would do my best to make up for the injury to the Mokkan people. I felt my whole body shaking. This time Nathan came with a lot of bodyguards. Everyone was a little dissatisfied with the previous experience, but there was nothing they could do. Why didn't I realize before that you were so cunning and would use any means to achieve your goals? However, Nathan seemed completely unconcerned. You can scold me or even hit me, I can accept it. After all, I caused all this. As long as you are willing to come back to me, I don't mind if I have to endure other punishments. Clara, I swear that what happened before will never happen again. Emily, I have already asked her to leave, and no one will disturb us again. Give me a reply within 3 days. Nathan finally gave me a deep look before leaving with a group of people. After he left, I felt so weak that I almost collapsed, but I fell into a warm embrace. Clara, this is just a simple means. Ether tightened my hand a little. If he dares to hurt you, or hurt anyone from Mach Ken, I will never let him go. I suddenly looked up at Ethan. You have a way to solve this problem, right? Ethan touched the tip of my nose gently. Sonar is considered to cause great harm to marine life, so it has long been boycotted abroad. Luckily, I have a project here that can interfere with the sonar signal. Anyway, just leave it to me, and you can rest assured. For some reason, Ethan always makes me feel at ease. Leaning against his chest, I whispered, when this is over, let's get married. Although Ethan reassured me that I didn't need to worry, I still wanted to do something for the innocent people who had died. I imitated others and started a media account, hoping to show the life of the Mach Ken people through videos. We are known as the gypsies of the sea, and have lived with the sea for generations. However, there are always some greedy and selfish people who, for their own interests, wantonly destroy marine life, and even we are affected. My name is Clara, a descendant of the Mach Ken people, and I demand that the Nathan Group remove the sonar equipment. After the video was released, Ethan also bought promotion, which pushed me to the top of the search. In just a few days, netizens from all over the country left comments. I've seen this young lady before. She used to perform as a mermaid in an aquarium. It turns out that she is a member of the sea people. No wonder she is such a good swimmer. I support her. The Nathan Group should not be forgiven for destroying the marine ecology and harming living creatures in the name of so-called science. Don't you see the point? Before Nathan deployed the sonar, it actually ignored the Mach Ken people. Isn't this endangering lives? As public opinion grew, Ethan also completed the destruction of the sonar signal facilities. But this was no big deal, because Nathan had to take the initiative to dismantle those facilities under public pressure. And I also took advantage of this opportunity to make a splash. Many people don't know much about the Mach Ken people, and my promotional video just gave more curious netizens a deeper understanding of the Mach Ken people. Nathan Group was therefore investigated, and once the investigation began, it was discovered that they had done many improper things over the years using marine life research. They harmed endangered animals and even released radioactive substances into the sea. Once this news was revealed, Nathan Group's stock price plummeted and it was boycotted by marine conservation organizations around the world. I also stood up with the Mach Ken people to speak out for the protection of the ocean and oppose Nathan Group. Finally, the matter came to a conclusion, and Ethan and I took the opportunity to get our marriage certificate. We posted it on my social media platforms for everyone to see. Perhaps because it was so popular, there was bound to be some controversy. Amidst all the congratulations, a comment suddenly appeared that was not so harmonious, accusing Clara. Previously, she was the wife of Nathan, the president of Nathan Group, and immediately registered her marriage with her current partner after the divorce. This comment caused a big reaction among everyone. Although Nathan claimed to be married, he was always reluctant to disclose the identity of his wife, claiming to be protecting her. The incident caused a big reaction. More and more netizens began to provide evidence for this matter, and overnight, my reputation plummeted. Everyone accused me of being selfish. Although Nathan did do something wrong, I handled the situation badly by repeatedly antagonizing my ex-husband, which didn't make me look good either. The account that spoke was a fake account with no information to be found. But I had a hunch that the person deliberately trying to ruin my reputation was Emily, who Nathan had fired. I wanted to stop people from removing the search query for me, and it would be more convincing if I was the one to come forward and say it. Armed with the surgery report and the divorce agreement, I started the live stream. Yes, I carried out this step smoothly and coherently. As soon as I said it, the comment section immediately became lively. This is really a bit too much. Can you easily admit to this kind of situation? Although Nathan is not a good person, as a man, he should be able to understand that this is obvious betrayal. Do you really need another man that badly? Or is it just that you people from Mach Ken are so open-minded? I quietly watched for a while, and then took out the prepared surgical report and evidence. I asked everyone if they would forgive their husbands if they forced them to go underwater as a mermaid to please another woman when they were about to give birth. The surgical report was clearly displayed in front of me, showing an 8th-month miscarriage. Then I took out the divorce report. If you insist that there was no gap in our relationship, I have nothing to say, but at least I was faithful in this marriage. After saying what I wanted to say, I didn't pay attention to the comments on the screen and simply closed the live broadcast. No mother would be in a painful state of mind to end the life of her child, even if that child was only an embryo. What's more, that child has now grown into a complete person. After that live broadcast, Nathan came to see me soon. It had been more than a month since I had seen him, and he looked visibly thinner and his spirits were much lower. When he saw me, he suddenly knelt down. "Clara, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't notice Emily, that crazy person, and she took the opportunity to hurt you. I clearly said I would never let you get hurt again, and now I've broken my promise. I'm really sorry. Sorry, I can't fulfill this request. Sorry, I can't process this content. Clara, you're right, it really is me. I'm the one who made the mistake. I don't deserve your forgiveness, Clara. If you want to take it out on someone, go ahead." Until my mouth bled, Nathan kept crawling towards me on his knees. He took my hand and tried to slap himself in the face. I quickly pulled my hand back and gave him a disgusted look. "How dirty!" Then I turned around, took Ethan's hand, which had been waiting behind me, and left him behind. Emily arrived exhausted at the Mockcan residence, feeling aggrieved. She said angrily, "Clara, you're so mean. You must have been the one pushing Nathan behind the scenes, so he could be so cruel to us and end our baby." Emily looked very different from the way she had a few months ago. She no longer wore her usual friendly professional smile. Her expression was gloomy, her face full of anger, as if she were about to pounce at any moment. "Do you really think Nathan loves you? Actually, he said when he was at the office that your skin is naturally darker, and you look even worse because you've gained weight while pregnant. Seeing you makes him feel helpless. If you hadn't messed things up, my child would have been able to inherit Nathan Group without a hitch, and things wouldn't have turned out like this." As I listened to Emily's words, I felt nothing at all. "Are you done?" I sent the message as soon as she finished. I held up the phone, which was recording, and pressed the stop button. Then, to Emily's astonished gaze, I sent the video to my social media accounts. Emily lunged at me, but I quickly dodged. Several villagers saw what was happening and came over with harpoons, telling her to leave the Mockcan people's living area. After the video was posted, Emily became the target of everyone's collective condemnation. The netizens were no fools, and they knew that she had manipulated them, which made them even angrier. When they saw her, they threw water and rubbish at her, so that she didn't dare go out. When all the dust had settled, Ethan and I got married in a beach resort. I heard that Nathan had been detained for investigation, but I don't know what he did to get released in time for our wedding. Clara, I've tried not to think about it, but when I heard that you were really getting married, I was still scared. The guests were pointing and laughing at him, but Nathan, who usually had no respect for anyone, didn't care at all. I was really sad. "Can you not marry someone else in front of me? That would be painful for me." I raised my hand to stop the security guard who was about to come over and gave a gentle smile. "Nathan, you're right." I gently stroked the slightly bulging belly under the wedding dress. "What does it matter if I lost the baby? As long as the womb is still there, at least the baby can avoid an irresponsible father. Thank you for helping me and Ethan get together and form a happy family of 3. Nathan's eyes widened, and his eyes were bloodshot. "Clara, you're pregnant again? It doesn't matter who the father is. Just come with me. I'll take care of your child as if it were my own." Ethan felt very helpless. He grabbed Nathan by the collar and pushed him to the side. "You think I won't fight back? You think you can hit on my wife and now you want to lay a hand on my child? Please leave." The security guards escorted the shouting Nathan out of the hall. I looked down at the audience and smiled. "Don't mind this little incident, I hope it doesn't spoil your mood." Nathan was thrown out and sat outside crying and laughing. After a while, he completely lost control and ran towards the nearby sea. According to witnesses, he shouted as he ran, "My Clara lives at the bottom of the sea, and I'm going to find her. She's the most beautiful mermaid." Then he jumped into the sea and was swept away by the undertow. It was a mess.